Hi there! Welcome to the Winning Websites Lab from Social School. I'm so glad you found us and that you're considering taking this course. It is a truly fantastic entry point into understanding all things modern mobile responsive websites and the various platforms on which we can build. And it's also a great gateway into our website launch lab. If you're waiting to get in on the launch lab, or you simply just want to up your skills on all things websites, this is the place for you. And I'm really excited to take you through some of the things that are covered in this course. So this is for anyone who wants to better establish or improve or even start from scratch that #1 online asset, the tool that we can't live without. I don't care how cool your Etsy page is. We need a website, and it's not hard to build, nor is hosting it and buying the domain and getting it live. It can be done so seamlessly and be really empowering, I promise you, if you learn the basics and you have your assets and your strategy in order before you start. That's not to say you have to go out and build, but let's just say that we need to understand how our sites are currently functioning, ways we can optimize and improve them, how we can be better found in search as a result, and then potentially some of the steps we can take going forward if we are thinking of revamping or overhauling our site entirely. So this course has 7 modules, and we start with framing and formula. And the idea here is that we have to first know what we're good at. What is our UVP that makes us different from everybody else out there, either in our industry, our local community or locality, or just simply, of the people that want to be doing what we're doing? As a user, a prospect, a customer, why should I care? What makes me feel like I should choose you and your service or product over the other guys? Because we live in an age of tons of choice and endless opportunity to go find someone else. So what is it about what you do that is going to serve me, my selfish needs, and my short attention span? And we have to understand that that's a reality in today's user browsing behavior, website visitors. They have a high expectation, or many of them, and we've got to find a way to serve them. So what that means is building landing pages and site pages that are about your customer or prospect and their pain points or desires, and not you and yours. And we definitely go deep into this and how we have to meet them where they are, work backwards, and then solve their problems. We cover a lot, or we look at a lot of case studies of websites that are killing it. Fantastic headlines that are about me and my needs, using words like you and your, and then subheaders or little taglines that further paint the picture or remove my objections, and then calls to action that are concise and compelling and leave me wanting more and diving deeper into your site. Not overwhelming, not irrelevant, not clickbait, or just so much information that we don't have the need to dive in further, but clear, compelling, and concise. Really beautiful taglines or headlines that are kind of re-splashed across your page every season, or as a campaign that's timely, as Nike often does. We'll talk about our #1 goal for our site, as well as our #2 goal, and how we achieve these deeply. Next, we look at package and profit plan, and we go deep into e-commerce. And it doesn't have to be in your website plans now, but within your, understanding and your future plans, hopefully. There's no reason that we can't all be a part of this unbelievable opportunity that is selling online to a global audience. And these are my many reasons, or but a few, I suppose, of the reasons that I switched over a decade ago from selling a service in person to people that knew me and trusted me, to selling a product online to strangers. And while it wasn't an easy move, it was incredible and scalable and allows you to sell in your sleep for real. So many models and opportunities. We cover each of them, and we go deep into the opportunities that might be relevant for you, and look at some of the pivot stars that we've seen really successfully shift to e-commerce and possibly, bring their friends along for the ride with one site, various sites, all sorts of things. We go deep into that. Next, we look at the platform comparison of our leading content management systems of today. We do talk about WordPress, yes we do, but we also go deep into Squarespace and Shopify and Kajabi, our favorites. They are so endlessly customizable, powerful, and they're exactly what you need. No matter how big or tiny your organization is, these tools have come so far, and they are all-in-ones in a lot of cases that can handle your email marketing, your lead generation, your nurture campaigns, your landing pages, your websites, your course hosting. Oh, I love it. I'm not a coder or a developer, but honestly, these tools are so different than they were even 5 years ago. And our generation has nothing but opportunity to utilize them to their fullest and fire up our dreams in about 5 minutes when we know how to put them into action. Navigation and user journey. We talk about the fundamental pieces of UX and UI, not to be overwhelming or at all snake oily. They are exactly what they sound like. How are you creating a great experience for your user as they traverse your website? And then what is the interface doing that, has the proper kind of copy and imagery and maybe some videos that do the trick, and they show it, don't say it. They do it in a concise and clear way. And we're meeting those expectations and driving people from their goal of finding a solution to their problems or their needs and getting them to the finish line. We talk about that browsing behavior and how it's changed and how the expectation of your user is maybe not a tall order if we know what we're doing, but we have to first understand how our site's performing. So achieving the homepage magic, we'll look at some examples of that and who's really doing it well, and then going into our workbook and answering questions like the 3-second test and our offer, clarity, who is it for and why do they need it? So really getting into the meat of that. The user interface must-haves, of course, we need to talk about modern design opportunities and what's changed and what's expected today on a mobile device in particular. And then easy navigation, smart integrations that inform and support and help your customer or your website visitor, not annoy. A few golden rules of site navigation, we go deep into those, and then we look at our own sitemap. We do an audit. I'm going to force you to. The 5 most important pages of your site or your soon-to-be site, and talking about the elements that any website builder, and we can all be one, have to understand. And they're just building blocks. It's literally like Lego on paper, and you get to draw it out and know in advance what you need on each page before you go amassing thousands of imagery and 6,000 words of written copy. No, we start with what we need, we work backwards, and then we go find those. When you understand how each page is functioning on your site and where it's connected to, holy smokes, you've done 90% of the work of building or reframing your website in a way that's going to be far more effective, not only in the eyes of your users, but in Google's eyes as well, because now you have a clean, clear site that it can easily traverse and serve up to people when it's queried. Site assets, a little bit more information and a deeper dive into long form content and the importance of that without being too long, of course, but I'll talk about why it is so integral to have a bit more expertise and authority embedded throughout your site in written copy for the sake of SEO. And then again, looking at our tried and true cliches of less is more and brevity and confusing and losing and all of that. Our favorite call to action websites are included in this course, and talking about why they work so well, how short and sweet they are, and what we can learn from some of the biggest companies in the world that employ the best conversion psychologists and web designers and copywriters, and how we can take some cues. Getting our assets in order, we go through each of those, and then again dive into a few more exercises like this one. Survivor Landing Page Edition, where we cut it down and we make sure that you know where each page is sending people to and what it's for. Getting our bio and intro statements in order, because if we don't have that, we're confusing people right off the bat. And then our headlines and taglines, which is just a practice. It takes time and a little bit of effort, and before you know it, you've got really cool, punchy statements that make your website absolutely sing. Because again, they're about your user, not about you. The last couple of modules, we talk about what Google needs. So search factors. And there's nothing that drives me more crazy than when a web development or web building company builds something beautiful without taking into account any types of SEO factors or ranking factors. So we look at those. There's tests that you can run on your own site that are everything from your mobile friendly score to your site speed and other places in Google Analytics and Google Search Console if you're ready to go in and see how your site is technically functioning. Where are people falling off? What's your dwell time? What's your mobile to desktop ratio? And how are they both rendering? And then finally, ending with integrations and automations. This is where if we have the right third-party or built-in integrations, they can be our absolute best ally of our website. ChatBots or live support, e-newsletter subscription buttons and web forms, other things that allow people to just get the quick answers that they need that help us get to them faster and them to a human faster as well, while segmenting and learning about them along the way. So we go into our favorite tools for a few of these different categories, and then of course audit our website in terms of performance, clarity, and then just the needs and priorities going forward, so that we end with a roadmap of where to begin from here. Lastly, a few bonus examples. We go into some examples of winning websites across the 3 favorite content management systems that we talk about: Squarespace, Shopify, and Kajabi. They're all included as live links in your workbook, and the reasons why they are such fantastic supplementary sites to your parent site, like a course or a training site on Kajabi, or they make a fantastic example of a parent site that's clean and crisp and super compelling and clickable. I hope to see you in the lab. There's a lot in here, but I promise you it's a fun, fast course of 7 modules. You're going to get a lot out of it, and a really awesome workbook that's going to give you some actionable starting places to immediately implement some changes on your site and a plan to grow going forward. See you there.